Hundreds of people waiting in long lines for hours at the Orlando immigration office. Now at 6, why they were told to leave that office without getting any help.
New details in a shooting that killed one person and injured 3 others at a Target store in Kissimmee. The latest on the investigation. And new details on 2 helicopter crashes that happened on the same day in Lake Apopka. The conditions the pilots likely encountered before hitting the water.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
Waiting for hours and again turned away. That was the sad reality for hundreds of people today at Orlando's immigration office.
Since COVID cases have declined, people who have visa restrictions are once again required to show up for in-person appointments.
WESH 2 investigative reporter Greg Fox shows us the small staff can't handle the enormous crowd, and some worry they could be deported.
They say they can't take no more people in.
Not the news Ernesto Morales had hoped to hear at 1:30, that they were shutting down for the day the Orlando Immigration Office that handles enforcement and removal operations, an ERO. He needs to see a federal officer to continue his work permit.
He did say that he needs to get it done because otherwise he's going to be in trouble. So.
Are you worried?
Yeah, I mean, that's my dad, so.
The daily ritual of hundreds of people showing up to try and conduct immigration business to remain in the U.S. began more than a week ago when the office resumed in-person appointments. Many of these people received notice that they need to report to an officer face-to-face, not virtually or through attorneys like they had during the pandemic. But the small staff and large crowd have prompted some to camp out or arrive before sunrise each day.
Just take a look at the trash that's piling up here on the lawn in front of the immigration office. People have no shelter. There are no bathrooms here. And a lot of the immigration attorneys that I have talked with say that this situation is going to get worse before it gets better.
It's a huge problem.
John Guyon is an immigration attorney who used to work in the Orlando ERO. He says the office was only designed to handle about 100 people a week, not the crush of people who receive notice to show up or possibly face detention or deportation.
So they're scared and they are frustrated and they're simply trying to follow the law and follow the orders, and they're not able to do it because of these gigantic backlogs.
Democratic local Congressman Darren Soto tells me he's requesting additional staff and resources now and more funding for immigration services going forward.
So that as we get into next year and the following year, we will be able to help with these visa issues. It also will help resolve our workforce shortage.
In Orlando, Greg Fox, WESH 2 News.
We received this statement from Immigration and Customs Enforcement saying that non-citizens must appear in person for their initial ICE appointment, and non-citizens who were apprehended by U.S. Customs and Border Protection are encouraged to look at the ICE check-in criteria and make an appointment using the ICE appointment scheduler.
Breaking news out of Osceola County. Stolen pizza and Pokemon cards led to last night's deadly violence involving deputies at a Target store in Kissimmee.
That is all according to a charging affidavit just filed for 18-year-old Michael Gomez, who was charged with theft. WESH 2's Kelsey Thord reports on the late-breaking details.
The Osceola County Sheriff's Office has released some updated information in regards to the deputy-involved shooting that happened Wednesday night. They say the 2 deputies involved in the shooting were there attempting to arrest 4 suspects when the shooting happened.
According to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, 2 deputies fired their guns Wednesday night as they were trying to arrest 4 suspects near the Target off US 192. According to a charging affidavit filed by the Sheriff's Office, deputies were initially called to the Target on reports of a suspicious vehicle. When deputies arrived, they spoke with employees of the store who told deputies 2 suspects wearing masks had just left with the stolen pizza and multiple packs of Pokemon cards. According to the affidavit, deputies witnessed the suspects get into the suspicious vehicle. When deputies attempted to arrest the suspects, the affidavit says it resulted in an officer-involved shooting. The sheriff's office says 1 suspect was killed, 2 others were taken to the hospital, and a 4th was detained on scene. Neither of the deputies were injured in the shooting. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement was called to investigate the shooting.
All right, I'm just going to make a quick statement.
Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez was at the scene soon after it happened. He declined to give further information, citing the FDLE investigation.
2 of our deputies are involved in the shooting. We have 1 deceased male and I'm not going to be commenting because the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is actually going to assume this investigation, and we don't want to step on their toes.
The FDLE says agents were at the scene overnight, gathering evidence and conducting interviews.
The sheriff's office says the names of the 2 deputies involved will not be released. They say they are protected under Marsy's law. In Osceola County, I'm Kelsey Thorit, WESH 2 News.
We did reach out to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office for additional information, and we are waiting to hear back.
2 teenagers were rushed to the hospital in Orange County after being shot in a driveway. The Orange County Sheriff's Office says a man told them he fired when the teens made threatening moves toward him when he confronted them in his driveway on Martinwood Drive. The 13-year-old had a wound to his hand and the 16-year-old had a non-life-threatening wound. A gun, which was reported stolen, was found near one of the injured teens. The man who fired said that his car had been broken into just a few weeks ago. That was never reported, though, according to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. But we're told property from the previous break-in was on one of the teens when he was shot. No charges have been filed at this point.
Happening now in Orlando, police are looking for a missing woman and her 11-month-old daughter. Orlando police say Tanairis Negron Montilla was reported missing by her mother on Monday, and she may be traveling with her baby Catalina in a 2016 gray Toyota Camry. Her mom says Tanairis needs her medication. If you know where they are, call 911. A caretaker at an assisted living facility in New Smyrna Beach is accused of committing a sex act on an elderly patient. 51-year-old Billy Bunn made his first appearance in court. He's being held on $5,000 bond. Police say Bunn is a certified nursing assistant working at a facility on Timberlane Drive Wednesday when another staff member saw him in a room with a 90-year-old bedridden woman with dementia. The owner called 911.
The patient doesn't even know what she was doing. But I believe the guy was making her do that.
Police say Bunn was later arrested at his apartment. He works for Vitas Healthcare. A spokesman says they take the allegations very seriously and are cooperating with law enforcement.
New at 6, a horrific case of sex abuse in Orange County. Take a look at your screen. This man here, Juan Lay, is accused of raping 2 young girls in their home. Investigators say one of the children told their teacher what happened, and they reported it to police. He was arrested on Monday. His connection to the victims is not being disclosed by investigators.
4 teenagers are accused in a drive-by shooting in Marion County. Ocala police arrested 19-year-old Jarrett Vining and 3 minors. Police say they fired shots around 11:20 last night near 4th Avenue and 20th Street. Officers stopped the teens when they allegedly sped past a stop sign and found Vining driving with a rifle between his legs. 2 were instantly arrested and charged in connection to the death of another teen. Orlando police are thanking residents for tips that led to a drug and weapons arrest in the Paramore neighborhood. They say they stopped Tizo Favors and found a stolen firearm as well as cocaine and MDMA, the drug commonly known as ecstasy. The Seminole County Sheriff's Office says 22-year-old Sean Robert Graham was arrested on drug and weapons charges. Investigators say they confiscated Xanax pills and a gun with 2 extended magazines.
Right now, the town of Eatonville's Planning and Zoning Board is holding a public hearing on proposed plans to build a mixed-use complex on the site of the old Hungerford Prep School. The land at the corner of Kennedy and Wymore has sat empty since 2009, and both Eatonville and Orange County Public Schools have a stake in the property. Some previous attempts at developing it fell through, but now Falcone Group, a developer out of South Florida, proposes buying the 88-acre lot for $14.6 million. They hope to get a zoning variance to build a mixed-use complex, and they presented their plan to the zoning board today.
So high level in terms of what this proposed development plan will bring is truly a live, work, play, sense of place development with shops, restaurants, retail, potentially entertainment venues, inclusive of things that we really are intentional about finding out from the community residents in the town of Eatonville as to what they would like to see.
About 30 people showed up to speak at the public hearing. Some surrounding residents have expressed concern over the potential impact of the development on traffic on surrounding roads. The developer says the proposed project will include single-family homes, townhomes, and even a grocery store. New on West 2, 9 previously banned math books are back on Florida's list of approved textbooks. The Florida Department of Education said the books were among 54 banned based on what it called publishers' attempts to indoctrinate students. That includes references to critical race theory, inclusion of Common Core, and the, quote, unsolicited addition of social emotional learning in mathematics. It is not clear what changed to get the 9 books back on the approved text list. The review process for social studies textbooks is still underway, with submissions due May 13th.
New at 6, Deltona City Commissioner David Sosa is resigning. The city made the announcement today on its website. Sosa submitted his resignation at a city commission meeting this week. It takes effect November 13th. Sosa says he's resigning to run for Volusia County Council in District 5. The city says residents interested in serving on the city commission need to fill out and file candidate paperwork with the city. The deadline is June 17th.
New details on a pair of helicopters that crashed Tuesday in Lake Apopka. Greg Clubs is the president of Coastal Helicopters, which owns both helicopters. He says the pilots were flying low and spraying herbicide before both crashes. He says the lake was calm with an almost mirror-like surface impacting depth perception of both pilots. They were also flying into the sun. Both ended up going too low, crashing into the water, and then escaping without significant injuries. Clubs adds that the company has been in business for 45 years and has only had one minor accident previously.
Buying a home is the American dream, and right now that dream is being dashed for thousands of people here in Central Florida. But they're not blaming the hot housing market or rising interest rates.
That this is a serious problem, and my situation is just going to get worse, and many other people are in my same shoes.
West 2 Investigates reveals the new real estate roadblock no one saw coming. It's all new tonight at 11.
Universal Studios is on the rebound. Comcast, the park's parent company, says theme park business is up more than 151%. It posted a $120 million more than expected for the first 3 months of the year and shows no signs of slowing down. Company executives say they've pushed through with developments during the pandemic, including new rides and attractions.
Speaking of our theme parks, we are halfway to Halloween.
We certainly are, and Disney is celebrating with some not so scary special events. The details coming up. Plus, the special offer for military service members at SeaWorld and Busch Gardens.
And UCF celebrates a national championship in cybersecurity. Tony.
And I'd say, outside right now it's a bit breezy, but the rain is winding down for your evening plans. I'll show you why the heat's going to be building, though, straight ahead.